Alright, so now we're going to go work on the screen. And this is on a separate texture, and it'd be a smaller texture than the actual base um, body of the data pad would be. And this is going to be the material that can be painted like I have it here, or it will be integrated with programming to create UI elements on it or have some interaction. So it all depends on how it's going to be used. Mine right here, it doesn't have any animation, it doesn't have any interactability, it's just a static prop. So I wanted it to basically just have kind of a few UI elements you can see down here, and some text to tell me what I'm looking at, and the target indicators here. And basically this is just I imagined it to be a UAV drone, and it was controlling and marking targets. So just to break it down real quick, the picture I found was from the net here, and it's actually a U.S. Air Force base, and or a decommissioned Air Force base, or just some old planes, and just found it on Google. So it's nothing super special. It's just the base starting point, and just did a blue overlay over it. Helped change the colors up a little bit. The HUD was created with text, and you can see I used clip and mask here. So when I did the flood fill here, you can see it clips it just to the text itself. So did that for the bottom HUD as well, and the details are just small boxes with not much to it, just a few small tiny details. Outer the outer border here, built up dirt a little bit in the corners, thinking this thing's gonna be used out in the field, out in the desert, out in the mountains. Dirt's gonna sink into the corners, and it's gonna build up there, and you're gonna constantly keep wiping this away with your hands or with a shirt or with a rag, and it's you're not gonna really get into the corners too much. So dirt would accumulate there a little bit more than in the middle of the screen. So that's what that was for, and that is the diffuse once it's copied and collapsed and sharpened. So that's what will get applied to the screen, the diffuse slot. And before I move on to the specular and the glow, the gloss, I'll show you the glow. And the glow is going to be, like we touched on in the other one, is basically just going to be the areas that pop out a little bit more. I kind of exaggerated this a little bit more, just to add a kind of a nicer effect, and bloomed it out a little bit here. So once that's applied in, you can see that it's kind of blooming out a little bit. Looks like it's a little bit brighter, the markings and stuff. So that's just basically copied up the diffuse again for the glow, and push the colors to basically get them where I thought they'd look nice. It's all trial and error. I mean, once you get it down, you'll know what to do, and you can see it on your mesh, and see what if it's going the right direction, wrong direction, and decide how much you want it to glow or how bright you want it to be. So you'll control that with your glow and diffuse map. And so thinking about the screen, I was looking at my own iPhone and the iPad and stuff, and fingerprints really accumulate on the screen. And even this I don't think was pushed far enough. I think it could have gone a lot further, but this is going to be touched by dirty, oily hands out in the field, or it's going to get lots of dirt on it. So figured some fingerprints in the middle of the screen from where it's going to be touched a lot, interacted with, will help sell the object a little bit better. So in our specular layer, since the diffuse is really just the lighten and the image on the screen. Our specular is going to be the glass surface that you interact with. So I started out by making it just a little bit darker, gave it a little bit of a yellow hue to look like the glow and the glass interacted, and oil from fingerprints. So you can see here I just took a fingerprint texture, copied it around, smudged it a little bit, resized it, and just kind of blurred it out a little bit. You can see here like a finger swipe, a handprint here. So this could definitely be, you know, pushed a lot more. I mean, it could be, you know, there could be fingerprints all over. There could be dirt smudges. I mean, there could be like, you know, it all depends. A bloody fingerprint, and you know, it'd change how it looks once it's applied. So you can see here that a couple of them are getting a little bit too hot here. That could just be my material settings, but you can see where the fingerprints are and where the smudges are, and then our gloss is just the opposite, basically, of our specular, and the gloss is just going to be, you know, what's going to catch light the most. And I wanted the oily fingerprints to really get some nice highlights, and so I went all black on the outside of the, you know, any area that didn't have the fingerprints and the dirt, and basically wanted the gloss to help push, you know, that surface detail on the glass to bring it out a little bit more. So that's that. And this actually doesn't have a normal map on it, so being a glass surface, I didn't really want to do any cracks or pits or scratches in the glass, so we didn't have to worry about normal map on this. And that is it for the texturing on this. And I'll bring it back up a max one more time so you can see the final result. And you know, it's a pretty tiny prop. You know, we did this really quickly. You know, this should be, you know, done in a day. Once you know, get used to workflow and working in the video game industry and working on stuff like this, you know, you'll be able to really crank stuff out like this, you know, if it's a small asset like this in a day. And so just, you know, don't worry too much on your speed right now. Just work on basically creating good habits, and that's what's going to make you a better artist and more efficient, is just finding good workflow habits that work for you, that, you know, produce nice clean results, that you don't have to keep doing things over and over again, and just keep working on those habits, and, you know, trying to learn new skills or new techniques that help, you know, improve upon those, or can replace the old ones with ones that will you know, help you work faster and much neater. So, and that is it as far as texturing.